Hello, good morning, 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 good morning. Hello, everybody. Hi, welcome to a coffee and catch up. My name is Lisa. This is Beyond Authentic Health. And hi, everyone. There's a couple of people waiting, apparently. First of all, before I go any further, well, actually, let's just wait for people to join. That makes sense, really, doesn't it? I don't know if you're watching this on the live. We've got a couple of people, it looks like, watching live. Hello, good morning, good morning, good morning. If you're here live, please feel free to join me in the chat today. That would actually be really lovely today. I'm really struggling today. My lens is going to pop out any second. I need to get these fixed. Bloody glasses. Yes, good morning, everyone. There's a couple more people joining. Just make sure this lens stays in. So it normally takes a few minutes for the notifications to go out. So if you are watching this on the replay, this is that sort of 2 or 3 minute gap between going live. Excuse me, this is going to be a problem today. Going live and actually having people joining, because it takes a while for the notifications to go out. So yeah, this is where, if you ever watch somebody's live stream, for the first couple of minutes, they are just kind of sat there going, dum dee dum dee dum dee dum dum dee dum dee dum 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 dee dum dee dum dee dum dum dee 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 dum dee dum. So yeah, that was my impression of Billy Connolly doing the Archers theme, which he has a comedy routine about wanting to do the Archers theme, have the Archers theme with dum de dum de dum de dum as the national anthem, which I think would be great. I think that's really funny. I'm just going to drink some coffee. So apologies to my Sophoniacs. You know what I mean. Oh, notification just seems to have gone out. I've got my phone on just here in front of me, and it's just beeped. So that's good news. So hopefully more people will be joining. It's telling me we've got 3 people live right now. So hello, good morning to you if you are here live. It's going to be a very quick live stream today. I'm only going to be on for probably about an hour because I am really struggling this morning. The fibro has kicked my ass. So I woke up. The exhaustion is real today. The fatigue is very, very real. Right, we've now got 4 in the live, so we're picking up a couple more in the live. So that's lovely. So if you are here in the live, please do say hello. Nobody said hello to me today so far. I feel like I'm just talking to myself, which is nothing new. There's nothing new in that. So, you know, that's fine. Regular viewers on this channel will know that I talk to myself because, you know, especially in lockdown, it's the only one I ever talks bloody sense, isn't it? I'm joking. Rufus is very sensible. So yeah, the numbers keep going up and down. So I don't know what's going on with the YouTube thing here. I don't know whether it's accurate or whether people are joining and then just going, oh, fuck off, Lisa. Nobody wants to hear what you're saying today, which is probably accurate. I mean, I'm surprised anybody ever wants to know what I'm saying ever. I've just got another thumbsy uppy and... yeah, so if you are here, have I got my live chat on? Oh, I have got my live chat on. Good morning, Belinda. You've got the day off. Oh, that is fantastic news, my darling. How are you this morning, Belinda? I think it's just you and me. They're saying there's other people here, but I don't think... Oh, I'm going to sneeze. I'm going to sneeze. Oh! Excuse me. Oh, it hurts. Sneezing hurts. The thumbs up is from you. Oh, thank you, my darling. I think I might have early onset hay fever. I don't know. It's really weird because it's not a cold. Well, it could be a cold. It says 4 on your screen. Yeah, I've got 4 on my screen as well. So we've got some lurkers, some people that don't want to chat today, but that's absolutely fine. You don't have to chat. You can just join us, and and me and Belinda will just have a good old natter. So yeah, I saw on your I think was it on Instagram where you had where you'd been on another 30-mile bike ride over the weekend or something. You're insane. You're insane. You're so fit and healthy. Like I envy you. I bought a bike 2 years ago. I bought it secondhand. It needs, what does it need doing on it? I think it just needs new inner tubes. So because it needed new inner tubes, it went into the shed. It hasn't ever left the shed. Yeah, I know. So yeah, you love bike rides. I know you do. I saw that you went on a really long one with your hubby. I mean, you know, when you did the video talking about your Q&As and you were talking about how healthy you were, I was majorly impressed. Especially with this week where my fibro has kicked my ass. Get it fixed. I know I need to. I do need to, actually, especially for this season. Last year we were just too ill. When we had COVID, we were just too poorly. Good morning to Kelly. Good morning, my darling. I just started watching your video this morning and then I realised that I had to go make coffee and come on a live stream myself. I was literally like, oh, this is really interesting with your Everything £5 video. And then, yeah, it just didn't happen. I was like, what time is it? Oh, shit, I need to go live. Right, get the kettle on. So I will finish watching that in a little bit because I'm really intrigued. I didn't know that the website was like all high street stuff. I thought it was all just like, I don't know what I thought. I don't know what I thought it was, to be honest. I honestly don't. So I will be fairly quick today, I think. I know I say that every time, but I've woken up dead, basically, is what's happened. So I feel dreadful. I feel absolutely exhausted. And yeah, this week the fibro has been real. The struggle has been real. You'll know what it's like with your hashish, your hashies. Fairly quick, I know, right? It will be like, I'll only pop on 5 hours later. In a SpongeBob thing. Yeah. Yeah, my fibro has been really bad. I've had a really shit week. And today I've woken up. And to be fair, I woke up and because the clock in the bedroom is still, I need to take it off the wall, put it forward an hour. So I knew it was wrong. But you know, when you wake up and you're like, oh, I could just stay in bed. I could really just stay in bed. And I was like, no, get up, come on, go and let the dogs out, go and do the things you need to do. And I was just like, oh my God, no. So yeah, it's been bad. Plus, I'm over on the other channel. Thank you, by the way, to everyone who supported the Full Face of Trans brands. That was a really important video for me. Yeah, fibromyalgia, it sucks. It's never good when you wake up that lightly. So yours hasn't been that terrible this week. Oh, mine has been atrocious. I'm really glad you're having a good week, Kelly. I really am. I thought that with the warmer weather yesterday, normally that kind of helps. It kind of like just the sun seeps into my bones a little bit and just kind of warms me up from the inside, a bit like a microwave. But a bit less lethal. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not suggesting put yourself in a microwave because I've seen the film Gremlins. I know what happens. Or was it Gremlins 2, I think? But yeah, so let's not do that. However, yeah, with that warm weather, it was just like, oh. You love that video, Belinda. You love learning new stuff. Oh, thank you, my darling. It was really kind of interesting to make because I didn't know how much information to put in. I didn't want it to be really preachy and I didn't want it to be like a transmission training video where it's like, this is all the terminology and this is what everything means and this is this and this is the process and this is, I was like, oh, come. But I really wanted to cover the brands and I really wanted to give them the focus. And, you know, like Dragon Beauty, she gets absolutely like lambasted, does Nikita Dragon, for being a little bit you love that video. Yeah, what a great video, Lisa. I need to watch the last 5 minutes as I fell asleep watching it. Oh, my darling, thank you. Belinda, it wasn't, you pitched it perfectly. Oh, thank you. The original edit or the original filming for it was a lot longer and there was a lot more stop doing your makeup, like talk to camera for 5 minutes about something, start doing your makeup again. And then I was like, oh, I need to just pitch it in between, like, so it's kind of a bit in between. So it's about the makeup, but it's also kind of a bit chatty and also answering some questions that I know people have got, because I know that a lot of people are both on that channel. We've done a Q&A. Me and Ruffus did a Q&A on this one. And a sort of answering, was it for the 1,000 subscribers? It might have been for the 1,000 subscribers on this channel, where we did that. And that was really interesting. That was sort of answering a lot of trans-related questions, really. So yeah, there's been quite a few things. So I didn't want it to be that, but I also wanted it to be important because it was Trans Day of Visibility. So it was kind of an important one. But I did lose subscribers on that video. So I was up to 429. And then as soon as that video hit, like half an hour later, I had to, or an hour later, I had a couple of people unsub. So yeah, it was like, okay. From what I saw anyway, it was very entertaining, informative and genuine. Oh, thank you, Kelly. That's lovely. But yeah, so there was supposed to be a video up on the beauty channel today as well. It was a latest in beauty unboxing, a double unboxing, the Telegraph Awards collection box, and the my items I got earlier in the month from my pick. Now the items I got in the pick, I filmed once and the microphone wasn't working. So when the Telegraph box turned up, I was like, right, okay, I'll just roll the two together and we'll do one video with everything on. So I filmed it and I've deleted the footage. Oops! I was sat here yesterday and I was like, right, the trans one's up, let's get the next one edited, because I'm lastminute.com. That's just how I roll. And I was like, right, let's get the next one edited. And Ruffus was sat next to me and I was like, doo-doo-doo. And I went, oh. He went, oh. And I was like, oh shit. And he went, what? I was like, I've got two folders, both called unboxings, and but both those videos, both those folders have the same files in. And he was like, right. I was like, well, one of them should have my latest in beauties in. And he was like, right. Then it doesn't. I said, hang on a second. And I looked on the memory card, and it wasn't on the memory card. And it wasn't in my recycle bin. And I was like, you know, the other day when I said I just need to empty my memory card so I can film the trans video, I think I didn't transfer the files across. So yeah. So God, that was interesting. That was an interesting kind of moment last night. So I was like, do I go and film it again? I was like, no, I can't be bothered. So I'm not going to film that now. So it is what it is. It is what it is. You've been losing subscribers too, Belinda. Oh, bless you. I don't understand why. I know I was a wally. Oh no, I've done that before, Kelly, but using the phone, it saves and recently deleted, thankfully. Well, normally on the laptop it does, but I think I didn't pull the things from the memory card. I didn't pull the files into the laptop. I think I just deleted them off the memory card thinking I'd already done it. But obviously what I'd done is I pulled the same files in twice. And then because there were two folders, both called unboxing, one was unboxing and one was unboxing, I was like, right, okay, one is one's the other. So one was for Tuesday's video and one was for Thursday's video. And I just assumed they were there. And then I deleted it off the memory card to film the trans video on Tuesday. So, or Monday, whenever I filmed it. I think it was Monday. So yeah, that was good. That was good. That was good. That was fun. So that's, and he was like, are you going to film it again? I was like, no, I'm not filming it a third time. There's only so much excitement that I can go, look, it's a lemon superfood by Dr. Botanicals. It's... That was my star item, surprise, a Dr. Botanicals item. You know what I'm like. But I have seen the drops for April. April looks really good. This month looks really good for Lib. It really does. I'm really excited about that. There's another couple of Dr. Botanicals. The hemp one, you know that's going on my list. You know that's going straight in my basket. You know that's going straight in my basket. And that is going to be I might even get 2 boxes. I've looked at it. I might get 2 boxes this month. I know. Can you believe? So hard getting excited for a second time. No, Belinda, it'll be a third time. It'll be a third time on one of them. And that was the boring ass video. So literally, one of my drop for this month had things like my sponge clean, which is a regular, the lemon superfood thing, which was a regular, some that QV like dry skin cleansing thing for Ruffus. So that's just like that's for him. And then I can't even remember what the other what are the face wipey thing, the cleansing Tony face wipe. There's a single fucking face wipe. That's not going to get me excited, is it? So that was in there, and then there were a couple of other random items. The Cree, I think that might have been in there. Was it a face oil? I can't remember. You've decided not to film your Feb lib pics this time because it's now April. That's a good point, Kelly. That is a good point. Yeah, that is a good point. But you have posted them on your Insta. I have a new unboxing for your next video. Well, I've got an unboxing to film today. I got the, did anybody see the, oh yeah, no, it does. The CBD week looks really good on Lib. I saw that this morning. Good morning, Vanessa, my darling. Good morning, little Miss Budget. How are you, sweetheart? I hope you're well. How's your mum? How's your cousin? Is it your cousin? I think it's your cousin. How's everything? How's everything going? We're just talking about the latest in beauty drops. I know, right, on a bloody health channel. But anyway, I think that the CBD week looks really, really interesting. I think I want all of those items, except I think there might have been a couple of makeup-y infused ones. I don't want the makeup because I've got enough makeup. But the moisturizer, I love that moisturizer. The Dr. Botanicals hemp moisturizer. I think I've got another one that I've just about finished used up. So that'll be in next month's empties. Literally, I think there's going to be in every single empties videos for the next few months. There's going to be a Dr. Botanicals hemp moisturizer because it is such a good day moisturizer. For me, it really helps my skin. It has really, really, I've really enjoyed it. I really have. Although I've got to say, look at this Argyle line. Look at I mean, this is like natural lighting just with the normal sort of, the normal lighting on. Look at that. Look. Here's a good one for you. What's your favorite ever beauty item? Can be skincare, makeup, beauty. Right. Okay. I will have to split it. So my favorite skincare item, possibly the hemp moisturizer, or possibly one of the serums, so either the Argyle line or the Matrixyl, because they seem to be working really, really wonders. Oh, right, so that's what I would say for skincare is Matrixyl or Argyle line, because they're both doing really good things to my forehead at the moment, and I'm really enjoying how I don't feel as triggered in my forehead. Like, I don't know how this is picking up, but if I put this lamp on, hang on. And if I turn this round so you can see like in bright light as well, like there's a deep line just there, but actually the lines are looking a lot less. So I'm really, really pleased with that. That's really cool. So I would say that for my skincare. For my beauty overall, microbladed brows. That's what I would say. My microbladed brows has been, they weren't cheap. Ruffus bought them for me, and we're looking at getting them redone. But my microbladed brows is probably like the best single beauty thing that I've ever had done, because they have made such. Oh, go away! Hang on a second. There we go. I've got my McCaffrey report. Yeah, the brows for an overall beauty item. Makeup. I would have to do it in categories. I am actually going to do a video series, I think, of makeup tournaments. So I want to pitch all of my mascaras against each other and come up with my best one. Same with my eyeliners, same with my maybe makeup brands. But again, it would be with makeup wise, it would be through the brands or through the different sort of products. So for eyeshadow, For eyeshadow, I would probably say one of my favourite eyeshadows. Kelly, I agree, Lisa, your skin is looking very good these past few weeks. Thank you, my darling. Your forehead looks flawless, Belinda. It doesn't in real life. It looks dodgy. I would say makeup brand for eyeshadow. Overall, I would say I struggle to get better than the Jeffree Star box, the chunky ones. So Blood Money, Blood Sugar, Blue Blood. Those are still some of my favorite formulas, and I know that's problematic because I know Jeffree is problematic, but those I absolutely adore. For primer, the glow drops that I am like in every video now, like I think I'm on my third tube of that since we got them in the glossy box last year, and I am just absolutely loving them. I love the way that my skin looks with them. I love the fact that you put them on and you look like the Tin Man, and then you put your foundation over the top and you just look really glowy. So that's probably my favorite primer. They don't do much to fill in the lines, but the glowiness is amazing. So I have tried them over the top of like a dimethicone silicone primer. For foundation, I'm still working on it. I'm still trying to find a good foundation that I like, that is going to do good things and not be too thick and all of that. For concealer, I would say for me, I really like the Jeffree Star concealer, the Magic Star concealer, but I also really like the Makeup Obsession concealer, so I really like that one as well. For mascara, either the Essence Princess one that Ellie sent me, or the Marc Jacobs at Lashed. So those I would say for that. Eyeliner, Revolution Renaissance Flick. Yeah, probably. Not as much Revolution products as I thought as I'm going through my list. For setting powder, it's got to be the Flower Bakery powder. What else have I not chosen? For lippies. Oh, lippies. What would I say my go-to lipstick is? That's enough now. That's enough water. You'll make yourself poorly. Good girl. For lippies, I would say, I don't want to keep saying Jeffree Star because, it's Jeffree Star, but for lipsticks, I would say maybe the Jeffree Star ones, maybe. No, they are the ones I reach for. They really are the ones I reach for. You're really not loving the, oh, I'm going to sneeze again. Excuse me. Oh. Oh, my eyes. Oh, excuse me, everybody. 1 second. I haven't got any tissues, so I'm just having to use a cotton oval. Do excuse me. You're not loving the Essence mascara that's in your project pan, but it's the volume one. Oh, I think it's definitely hay fever, Belinda, because my eyes are going, which would also explain why I woke up feeling like death, because hay fever normally does that to me. I think I've got the waterproof one. I'm not sure. Posh Tissue, I know, right? I've got nothing else here, and I only use the cotton ovals or the rounds to do my nail varnish, which sits next to me. So I don't use them for makeup water, for micellar water or anything anymore, because I've got the reusable rounds for that. Yeah, I know. I would say lipstick. It's either my MAC Ruby Woo, which I adore. I adore that. It's such a solid dry matte lippy, but yeah, or my liquid ones from Jeffree Star. Yeah, so yeah, that's all of those. There you go. That's my full rundown, I think. Although the Nikki Tutorials palette would be up there with some of the best ones. Yeah, the black and blue packaging. Yeah, that's my one where it's got like laced up on the back. Yeah. So then this week, weight-wise, I have had a gain this week. I have gained, I think it was 2 pounds, which is absolutely fine. We've had not necessarily a week off. I haven't tried any Colourpop. It's that bloody it's the faff where they're not like UK based or Europe based, and that just puts me off. And I know that Kirsty was like, it's fine, they do the shipping costs now, but it really has just still kind of put me off. But I will look into Colourpop at some point. I really will. I have just bought the Olaplex system, by the way, the Revolution system, all 4 of them. The other 3 have turned up now, or the other 4, the set of 4 have turned up. So I'm going to start doing that and documenting that on my hair. Have I got the hemp moisturizer to hand? Pretty much, yeah. It's just in the other room. Why? Do you want me to grab it? I can grab it if you need me to. It's the green packaging one. Oh, hang on then. Hang on a sec. Talk amongst yourselves. Oh, wobbly, mummy. Oh. Go on, go and lie down. Good girls. I know, mummy's wobbly. Mummy's having a wobbly day. Oh, there you go. 1 hemp moisturizer thing. Julie, good morning. Good morning. I weighed in, Julie. I put on 2 pounds, but it's fine because I was kind of off plan a little bit a couple of days this week. And we found a new takeaway place called Leon that does vaguely healthy-ish burgers, vaguely healthy-ish. They weren't like super, super low fat and super, super good, but they were fairly low fat. And so we had like, what do we have? Deep fried fry things and stuff. So yeah, it was good. No, Nessa. Oh, the Dr. B hemp one. Yeah, so this is what it is. It's hemp infused natural nutrition moisturizer, it says. And then it's got lots of writing on the back. It is vegan, cruelty-free, 98% natural. Apply in the morning after cleansing and applying your serum. Discontinue after use. It is, I think, £4.99. Oh, the burgers. Oh, this is $4.99 on Dr. Botanical's website, but if you use code Lisa20, you get 20% off. It's not an affiliate code, it's just a discount for you. So yeah, Lisa20, Dr. Botanicals. Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. I mean, literally, this is probably, hang on, I'll see if I can, use the light, hang on. This is, I can't actually see through it. I thought I was going to be able to see through the tube, but it feels like it's almost empty. It's probably just got about that much in the bottom. It's really, 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 really good. I use it all the time. The only thing is I'll show you now, actually, because I haven't put this on yet. So I will show you. It comes out. Look, if I show you, look, can you see? Hang on. Oh yeah, look, it's almost empty. So yeah, it come on. There you go. So it kind of goes on like it's the same color as the packaging, which is kind of like a mutedy olivey green, like that. It looks thick, but it's really, really not. So you kind of go like that and you go, oh my God, that's so thick. But it just absorbs straight away. It just goes straight in. It's a really, really, really nice consistency. It is green. Yeah, it's green. It's really funny, but look, it's gone on my, and I haven't rubbed it into my hand at all, but it completely goes in. It's the same color as the tube, which I think is really great. I love it, but it completely, I like a thick cream over a gel. It's really weird because a lot of times with a thick cream, you're actually getting things like xanthan gum and other sort of ingredients that go in where they, your computer completely lost interest. Oh, wow. Oh, lost internet, lost interest. Your computer's like, I don't want to know about skincare. Fuck off. Yeah, it is like a water cream. It's a really nice creamy consistency, so it is kind of quite thick, but as soon as you put it on, it absorbs into your skin really, really nicely, and it's one that you can kind of feel straight away, like getting sucked in, if that makes sense, rather than, you know, sometimes with a really thick cream it just sits on your skin and then it's like you're wearing a mask, like a night mask. It's not that. It's a really, really nice, it's just a really lovely cream. I really love it. I think it's so good. It's made my skin, like, pretty much during the day. I'll do my serums and that in the morning, which I'd done before coming on, and then this is like my go-to moisturizer. So, well, as I say, this one's nearly used up, and I've got 3 more in my skincare tub for the next few months, and then I'll be getting at least 1 in the lip box drop. But yeah, no, I totally recommend it. Totally recommend it. I also really like this, which is by EOS, the little lip balm thing. This is in a CBD one as well. So yeah, this I really like. I quite like CBD in my skincare at the moment. I know there's not like enough of an active ingredient for it to do much, but it does seem to be calming down my skin, which is really good. So yeah. So yeah, we had the other day, because we'd been poorly, and I think it might have been Tuesday. Yeah, it was Tuesday. So yeah, we went. Rufus was like, "Oh, can't be bothered cooking." I was like, "Neither can I." So we were like, "Should we get a takeaway?" Normally, our go-to takeaway is noodles. We've got a noodle place near us that cook them. It's flash fried. So it's literally straight in a bit of oil. The oil's poured out. Whatever's left in the pan, that's what they use. So it's fairly low sin, fairly low calorie. Ness, your lips don't like EOS. Your lips go sore. Really? Have you tried the different ones? Because I really like the mint one, but I also really like the CBD one. It's the CBD. I think is really good for me. But again, it might just be something in it that your lips your lips disagree with, if that makes sense. But yeah, so basically we had, what did I have? I had chicken burger, and it was with gluten-free bread, but then it was a chicken burger with like chicken dippers, I guess, rather than a chicken thing. Oh God, hang on. You should try a different one. You have the grapefruit one. It could be the grapefruit oil. Like, if they use actual grapefruit oil, even a drop of it in something, grapefruit oil for me is really, really astringent. It's really, my skin just reacts really badly to grapefruit oil. A lot of citrus oils I can't use because my skin just goes, no. And it just goes, you go, oh, I'm just gonna put this just on here, and my skin goes, whoa, no, fire, 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 and my skin will just kind of erupt, go bright red, really sore, really bad. So yeah, a lot of citrus oils I've got to be really careful with, and grapefruit's quite an astringent citrus oil. I'm surprised they put that in a lip balm. Actually, no, I'm not, because it smells nice. But yeah, try a different one. Try a different one. It could be. I was about to say it could be lanolin, but that word's just fallen into my head. I don't think there's lanolin in it because that's made from sheep. But yeah, it's the lanolin. Definitely the lanolin. It's not even in it, but you know what I mean. It's definitely that. Yeah, it's because of the Skittles, because of the ground up Skittles in it. But no, so we had a really lovely takeaway. It was really lovely. It came with crisp cut potato things rather than chips, and they were apparently like air fried rather than fried. So yeah, and then there was some vegan little jackfruit croquettes, I guess they were called. So we had some of those, and then there was a vegan burger that they did as well. So we tried the vegan burger. So it was quite a big takeaway, to be fair. So only putting £2 on, I don't mind. And then a couple of days this week, I've just not been on it, and I've just munched through the day. I munched healthier food, so like I've eaten like Rivitas and things, but I've had like 4 instead of 2, and I've had like rice cakes, but I've had 6 rice cakes instead of 2. You know what I mean? Because I've just been munchy. but sometimes I get like that, and it was fine. I've just, as I say, the fibro's kicking my ass this week. It's really bad. So yeah. So there is a video to go up. I'm going to film a video because I don't know whether you saw. I think it might have been Bryony. It might have been, I can't remember who it was. I saw on somebody's feed that they accessorized mystery boxes had gone up for sale. And I bought one and I've got one. And so I'm going to open it. So that's going to be a video this week over on the health and over on the beauty channel, I should say. And then I do have the video to finish editing for this channel, all about the fibro and how that affects us and everything else. So yeah, that is going to be put together. So I will be finishing up on editing that, and that will be going up this week as well. But yeah, I don't think that £2 on was that bad, to be honest with you. It could have been a lot worse. Could have been a lot worse this week. I've been through the ringer a bit this week. Julie, you were asking about Ruffus. How's Ruffus feeling? Hope he's getting better. He's not. He's really not. He's really struggling at the moment, unfortunately. I hate to say, but yeah, he's really struggling. He's had a shit week as well. His breathing's been really bad. His mum's supposed to be in hospital, but they've sent her home, and she's waiting on an operation in her back. So yeah. Hi Tanner, new here. Hi Tanner, lovely to see you, darling. Just wanted to say, don't worry about it. As long as you're not going back to what you're used to eating, like I've relapsed into eating a load of carb again, like bread. No, it's been very controlled off plan, if that makes sense. Like we knew there would be one meal, one takeaway that would be off plan, and so we knew that was happening. And then a couple of days, as I say, I've had a couple of different cake bars and things, and the what they called fiber one bars, like over my sin allowance and things like that, which I haven't really worried about because I've kind of just gone, do you know what? We really enjoyed the takeaway. It was a really lovely dinner. And at some point, maybe next month when it's Rufus's birthday in May, we might have something again. We might do it again. I don't know. Belinda, you feel so sorry for Rufus. It must really get him down. It does. Little Miss Budget, I'm so sorry to hear about Rufus. Oh, thank you. Same from Tanner. Thank you. And Belinda saying hi to Tanner. Yeah, hi Tanner. Hope you're well. Yeah, he's been struggling. It does get him down. It really does get him down at the moment. Just kind of going from the bedroom into the lounge, it takes out of him. And he wants to do so many things. If you saw the crafting video that I put up on the other channel, there's lots of things that he bought for crafting that he wants to crack on with, and some bits and pieces that he wants to do. And we've got some plans for next year. So in terms of, making things and stalls and things like that. And yeah, it's just a case of doing what we can when we can, to be honest with you. He's just struggling. His breathing's a bit shit. So yeah, it's all just a bit crap. And then obviously with his mum being poorly, like we want to go and see his mum, but his mum and dad and family are in Essex, so we can't really do that at the moment. So it's just, and even if we were allowed to, like driving for 4.5 hours down to Essex would probably be too much for him at the moment. So yeah, it's just all a bit shite, really. It's all a bit shite. Little Miss Budget, Vanessa, I have no idea what my actual weight is. I keep gaining fluid. So do I, but it's because I keep drinking liquid. I keep drinking so much coffee. Julie's welcoming Tanner. Hi. But yeah, no, he's okay. Where in Essex are they? Romford, innit? Like down Essex Market, innit? Sending love to you, Rufus and his mum. Hopefully things will get better soon. They probably won't, to be honest. And I know that sounds like I'm being really negative. I'm not. I am what's called a pragmatist. So there's, glass half full, glass half full, glass half empty. I'm like, my glass is half full. It's probably because I've drunk the first half a glass, or because I only poured half a glass in because I've got the shakes that day and I can't really walk that well. So yeah, that. Tanner, hi Kelly, it's you I blame for making me place an order with everything £5. Yeah, we'll have to do a detour to Chelmsford. Oh yeah, I forgot you're down there. Wow, give us 18 months and we'll be down there somewhere. Give us 18 months. That's the plan. Is for us to move down within a relatively short period of time. Sending good vibes to Rufus and his mum. Thank you. Yeah, I'm getting the spell books out. I know that sounds really witchy, spell books, but I am. I'm getting the books out. I'm like, right, okay, let's start doing some workings and stuff. So yeah, I also am interested about everything £5. I'm really intrigued actually, so I will definitely have a look at that. Move down here, yeah, moving down to. We're looking at Essex, Hampshire, somewhere like that. I've got family in Hampshire, and obviously Rufus's family is in Romford, and also in ... south. What's the coastal thing near Essex? There's like a south somewhere, south something, South Park. No, it's not. Is it? What's it called? There's a coastal thing, like a little coastal town. South End. Thank you, South End. That's it. He's got family in South End as well. So we're looking at kind of triangulating sort of those three places to try and work out. South End. Is it South End? Yeah, that. He really wants to head back into Hampshire. He used to live down there before. I used to live down there as well, but no. We shall see. I really didn't like where I'm from, so Hampshire. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, 18 months, a year to 18 months we'll be moving. We've got a lot of stuff to sort out in the flat here. We've then got to sort out organising to be able to sort of get a transfer and all of that. So yeah, it's just going to be a pain in the bum to organise, especially when, you know, you get up at a day like today where I plan to do things today and I just feel like I just went from here into the back room, which is like 20 yards, 20 meters. And it's just wibbly wobbly. So yeah. It was the Tanner bought the blue. Oh no, it was the blue greyish blazer jacket that made me go on the site. I think that went straight out of stock, but there's always new stuff being added on there. I will definitely have a look because I didn't know they did plus size, so I will definitely have a look. So yeah, the fact I put £2 on, I'm not worried about. I'm not even. It's not even acknowledging as an issue because, as I say, I'm not. This is like my long-term thing now. Of as long as my general kind of direction is moving down with my weight, then that's fine. You were saying, Ness, that you're not quite sure what you weigh. I would say jump on the scales because it's better to know. You might not want to know, you might not like the numbers, but at least you know. And once you know, you can do something about it or choose not to or just relax. Like, because I'm in for the long term on this, it's like actually, if we want to get a takeaway once a month, then we can do it. And so it's not then something that I'm focused on, because for me, if I focus on food and that's the only thing I think about, then that's ultimately going to pull me off any diet plan that I'm ever on, because it's just going to be like, oh, if it's like an alcoholic might be thinking about alcohol in the first few weeks, but then once they're kind of clean for a while, it doesn't become the same sort of it doesn't become the same fixation. But then if you then start talking to an alcoholic about drinking and, you know, pubs are reopening and blah, 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 then it becomes a fixation again, and that starts to cause an issue. And it's the same with me with food. It has to become a lifestyle, not a diet, Belinda. Exactly, my darling. And it is a lifestyle. And it's like I can't remember the last time we fried something. However, that's a lie, because I fried some eggs last night in a bit of fry light, because we did, what did I do last night? Steak, air fried chips, and then a load of steamed vegetables. So yeah, basically, my nose ring's really itching me. So yeah, basically, like we have chips regularly, but they are air fried, so you don't use any oil or anything. Just whack them in the air fry. We steam everything that's possible to be steamed. We boil, we steam all our vegetables. We'll boil potatoes. I love boiled potatoes, especially salad time. Salad potatoes, boiled new potatoes, I love them. So yeah, we cook really healthy. It's just every now and again it'll be like, do you know what? Let's just relax the belt a little bit, relax the corset, and then get back on it the next day, which is kind of what we've done. And this week, because I've been poorly, and because of my energy levels have been so low, if I wanted to have another snack bar at an extra 3 sins, then I'll have it. I don't care. You know what I mean? Kelly, you've got a great attitude towards at least it's all part of the journey. Well, it has to be, doesn't it? It's like, this isn't something that I'm going to do for like, oh, get the weight off and then start eating crap again. This has to be like, I enjoy the food we eat, and as long as I'm staying focused and as long as I know that I can have a little blip here and a little blip there, and it's just kind of keeping on it, then yeah, I have to do that. Tana, I agree, Belinda. I've had such a weird relationship with food. Now I eat things that make me truly happy and healthy. So it's a balance of fruit and veg and the occasional cone of chips. Well, this is it. This is it. You see, we all have to find our way. And it's just, for us, we've got very good reasons to get the weight off, not just for health, but for surgeries and things. So there is massive reason to get the weight off. But equally, like, life is too short to deprive yourself of the occasional cake. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, it's a birthday. Well, I can't have a cake because it's your birthday. Like that's the slimming world. That's the slimming world kind of doctrinization, the indoctrinization of, it's your birthday coming up. So, make sure that if you have a little slice of cake, you have a really small slice, you sin it, you weigh it, do you know what? No. If it's one day, there's only a limited amount of damage you can do one day. And I get that for a lot of people that join Slimming World and Weight Watchers and all of these other clubs and things, you do it because you have to do things in moderation, and you have to do things, other people can't do things in moderation. So I just saw your thing about moderation. I do agree about moderation if you're somebody that can do that. You eat chocolate and drink wine every day. That's because you cycle 30 miles. You see, we physically are not able to do that. So when you're looking at any kind of weight loss is dead simple. The weight loss is the easiest thing to crack. Calories in versus calories out. As long as your calories in are less than your calories out, you will lose weight. That is how it works, regardless. So whether it's Weight Watchers, Slimming World, or whatever else, and yes, not every calorie is equal, because some calories are nutritious and some aren't, some are empty calories, but ultimately it's calories in versus calories out. Now, the issue at the moment is that A, gyms are closed, and B, we're struggling with our health. So it's really difficult to actually kind of do the physical things, because for me, it's my balance and feeling like the whole world is spinning. So even just going for a walk up the street, go and see the ponies, which I might actually do a little bit later on. Even for me, just doing that, I have to take a walking stick. I'm 44 and I walk with a walking stick. You know what I mean? It's shit. It really is shit, because of the fiber, because of my balance. And Ruffus, quite often walks with his walking stick because he has to stop and catch his breath and try and breathe. And so when we're talking calories in versus calories out, we're limited as to the amount of calories out that we can actually increase at the moment. And if people had seen some of the vlogs on this channel when we were going to the gym and all of that, I really enjoyed going to the gym. I really enjoy sitting on a cycling machine at the gym and just pedaling my little heart out. I really enjoy it. Give me that for 40 minutes, a bit of walking, a little bit of weightlifting, back on the bike, another 40 minutes, and I'm a happy bunny. But at the moment, the gyms aren't open, but it's just not feasible. I haven't got the energy at the moment. It's awful. It really is awful. Share bags of flaming hot Cheetos are your downfall at the moment. Well, I tell you what, my downfall at the moment, the thing I've had this week that is now on my, I've got in my head, I've got lists of food. I've got lists of things that I need to be like, oh. So on my list, on my amber list, oh, look at that. My hair has got caught because I put the moisturizer on. The hair is dried to my face. So my amber list of foods that I can eat but I need to be careful of because they can trigger my eating disorder, means I'll eat tons of them. Pink and whites, love them. However, all of them a bit much. And this week I've discovered Fiber One birthday cake bars. Oopsie. I think they're on the haul video we did with this one. Your internet has been wobbly today, keeps dropping out. You popped on the scales, and our scales have a water retention measurement, and it keeps going up. I'm frustrated with it. You put £2 on. Okay, well, if you've got some water retention, you can get some diuretic tablets from the doctors if it's not time of the month water retention, or if they're so good. Belinda, they're so delicious. They're so bad because those, and there's another. Oh, sorry, I've got a really itchy nose. There's another one that we got in Home Bargains. It's on the whole video that I put up last week. It's like Fiber Now or Fiber something. It's not Fiber One, but they are blueberry ones. And Ruffus didn't like them. And they're the similar cake bars with a little bit of drizzle of white chocolate stuff on the top and little blueberries inside. Oh, they're 100 calories per bar. So they're like 5 cents each, or 90 calories per bar. But because they're only small, it's like I have to break them into 4 and then eat them like really mindfully and remind myself, because they're on my amber list, because I can just sit and eat 5 of them. And that isn't good. So yeah, I need to be very mindful of those. So those have been a bit of a oh, they're really yummy. Right, don't buy these again this week. Yeah, that's been an issue this week. Why can't I get something that tastes like that but has the same nutritional and calorific value as celery? Why does celery taste like arse, and yet like all the nice stuff is just, no, don't tell me that. Try warming the chocolate ones in the microwave, serve with a squirt of low-fat cream. Absolutely yum. No, don't tell me that. No, cake bars are on my amber list. They have to go on my amber list. That does sound amazing. Somebody else was saying about putting the pink and white wafer bars into the microwave, and then they're like s'mores. No, don't tell me these things, because then I'll put a whole packet in the microwave and then I'll eat the whole packet. Because it's an eating disorder and I don't have the control over it. So literally amber. If I do that, Belinda, if I put it in the microwave, you know it'll be like, oh my God, this tastes so amazing. And then the microwave would never stop and I'll go through an entire packet. Sabotage my birthday cake bars. I know, right? Could you imagine? Like if we were going to Slimming World every week, could you imagine why have you put weight on this week, Lisa? You seem to have gained 3 pounds. I blame Belinda. But it is the sort of thing at Slimming World. It's the sort of thing they do when they do the what's it called? The chat afterwards. I can't remember what it's called. Like, oh, you've weighed in, you put on 4 pounds, never mind, you tried, have a gold star, all that bollocks. And they do the sit-aroundy thing where they all talk about shit and ting and shit and ting. Ping munch. It literally would be that. And yeah, that's the sort of thing in Similar they do. And somebody would say, oh, I did this. It was so delicious. And everybody else sits in the room and they're just like, you know, Homer Simpson and the donuts with a bit of draw that comes out of his mouth. It's like that. We'll all be like, oh, cake bars in the microwave with a bit of cream. Oh, yeah. So that's it sounds amazing. It does sound amazing, but I'm not going to try it. I can't try it. I can't allow myself that. But no. So what else are we doing health-wise this week? Still haven't filmed Will It Soup. I'll be filming that this week, hopefully. Again, it's just feeling like crap. This is the thing. There's so many things I want to do. And like, I'm literally sat here with my Gaia Oracle and my self-care Oracle. And I've got a new book that I'm going to be writing. Look at that. You can see the goddess there. Look at that shiny goddess. But this is just a notebook that I am going to be writing. I want to write down all of the tarot cards. I know, right? Only been studying them for 20 odd years, but I want to write them down in in the order. So the first 22 and then the next 56. So the major and the minor arcanas. And I want to. Julie lost £2 this week. Well done, Julie. That's fantastic news, my darling. That is great. As I say, I put on 2.5, I think it is. I think it worked out at 2.5, 2.25, something like that. My scales go in quarters, so I never know whether to round up or round down. So yeah, 2.5, we'll say. But yeah, well done. What was your secret? What did you enjoy this week then, Julie? To lose £2, obviously you've been on it. You've been on the plan or a plan or some sort of diet or some sort of healthy eating or amoebic dysentery or something. So what have you enjoyed this week? What has been your kind of key takeaway from this week? And I don't mean takeaway as in food. I mean takeaway as in like what can you take with you from this week? But yeah, I'm going to be writing all of my tarot cards down with all of the meanings, all of the reversal meanings, and then working on some new spreads, and just to kind of go in and just, I don't even know why I want to do it, because I know the cards, but I just want to kind of, I don't know why I want to do it. I guess it's just kind of to re-solidify my relationship with them in my head, I guess. I don't know. Just eating when you're hungry and not for the sake of it. Yes, that's very good news. That's good. That's a good takeaway. However, my body tells me I'm hungry quite often, even when I'm not, when I might just be thirsty and need another coffee. Talking of which, I'm going to finish my coffee up. So regular viewers will know that. Just because, Lisa, why not? Well, no, there is kind of a reason. It's because I want to kind of have something as a resource that is my personal tarot relationship, I guess. Now, Belinda was asking on the other channel about like reading and tarot reading and how I learned and all of that. And it's kind of got me thinking, because you can go and buy tarot books and they've got, this card means this and this card means that. Whereas I read very, very intuitively, and I read the story of the card, and each of the cards has lots of different meanings depending on where they are and what you feel. So for me, they say if you get peckish, Tanner, you should drink something, whether it's water or tea, because your body isn't actually hungry, it's peckish, it's thirsty. Yeah, hence the reason for drinking a lot of coffee. Which I'll talk about in a second. But yeah, so I'm going to write down what the cards mean for me and what the various meanings are for me, so that I've got a reference guide, I guess. So I've got it. It's like, yeah, Kelly saying like your own personal relationships with the cards, writing down would be a good thing to do. Yeah, and like what they've. What a little bit about kind of my journey with each of the cards, because the meanings have altered as my knowledge and my connection to them has grown. Like a card that on paper will say, so take the Empress, which is a card which has, hang on, I can probably show you actually, because they're just sat in front of me. I know, right? Again, all of my channels merging into talking about stuff. La la la. Oh! Did you like? I've always read intuitively. I tried studying from books, but I've always had an eyebrow raised because I'm like, really? Yeah, me too. Oh, Tanner, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. You know, when you get a card and it's like, it says the, hang on, let me find the Empress, because that's the one I want to talk about, because that's the one I said about. It's going to be right at the end, isn't it? Because I'm going from the front to the back. From the front to the back. Oh, no, there she is. There's the gorgeous goddess. So the Empress, lovely, 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 lovely card, right? But she's all about abundance and wealth and control and all of these lovely things. But when you read in the book, it's like she brings very much like the Empress is the top of the female kind of hierarchy. She's like the friendlier version of the High Priestess. And yeah, but then this particular deck, because I just have such an affinity with this deck, which is now out of print, they reissued the Connolly deck with different like updated pictures on some of them. I think to make it not as white, which I think is really, really good, not as Caucasian. And I think that's really, really good. And I think it's something that should be absolutely celebrated. But I haven't tried. I haven't seen the new deck. And when I was trying to buy another backup copy of these, because obviously I'm now on Fiverr doing the tarot readings, I was like, oh, what if something happens? Because of that, it was like, oh shit. That means like this deck is now no longer available. Really? When you think of the Empress, you don't think she's friendly. She's a bit of a bad bitch along with the Queen of Swords. No, you see, I get that from the High Priestess. I get that bad bitch energy. I get Rihanna. See, to me, it's like this is Beyonce. Like slightly more maternal, slightly more kind of. Although Beyonce's a bit of a bad bitch as well, isn't she? Hang on, Kelly. I'd like to get back into tarot again. I haven't done it for around 8 years. I'm going to be filming on the Witchy channel about the tarot, and I will be giving some advice to people on like how to learn, how I learned. But basically, just get yourself a good deck. Now, this is something I can. Can I recommend? I don't know. They're all bad bitches. Yeah, they are. Hang on a second. Right. Ugh. Health channel. Sorry, this has been taken over by the witches. The witches and the bitches. So I don't know whether I can ethically recommend doing this for anybody else. But it kind of has worked for me. Okay. So because there are so many different tarot decks out there. There are so many different. Kelly, you're going to get yourself a new deck. I can't find any your Astro Tarot that you used to use. Right. If you can't find the particular deck and you have a little look, see, and you can't find it online, have a look on the secondhand market if you're after a particular deck, because you can sometimes find them on eBay and places. Now, there is a whole myth about, oh, you can't use someone else's cards. Bullshit. Just cleanse the cards, just sleep with them, and like put them under your pillow. I mean, and they will be like your energy will override the other person, so it's fine. As long as you don't get like a bad juju feel from it. But like these are you can see how beat up this box is. I've had to sellotape it all together. But if you're looking for a brand new deck, AliExpress, right, has copies. Now, I didn't know they were copies, but they are actually copies, and they are things like. So I've just picked up the Lightseers Tarot. Okay, now this is a copy. So they've basically scanned in a full deck, taken the information from or not the information because there's no little booklet in here, but they've taken the deck, they've scanned in all the cards, and basically they're printing them in on relatively cheap paper card, without the same sort of feel to the cards and in a smaller size. So obviously, like that's the standard size. This is a smaller size. So you can see it's quite a bit smaller. Okay, so the people that wrote this deck, designed this deck, drew this deck don't get paid. The publishers don't get paid, but they are like £2 or £3 a deck. So why have I got them? I've got them because I am looking for a couple of new decks to use in my everyday readings at the moment. Now, I showed you just then my Oracle cards, right? I picked up the Sacred Self-Care Oracle in this size and the Gaia Oracle in this size. And I picked them up from AliExpress and I looked at them, went through the cards and went, wow, those are really, really good. Those are phenomenal decks. I really, really like them. The readings that I did for the Spanish squad were using those particular decks, this size deck. And then, because I felt a connection with both of those, I went and got the full size. I mean, you can see the difference instantly. This is the full size Oracle. And I'm like, these aren't the same ones, but they were this size. So I went and bought, what were these, £20? I can't remember how much they were, something like that. 18.99, I think, something like that. So I went and got the Gaia deck, which I bought on AliExpress in the mini size, and also the Sacred Oracle ones, which aren't quite as oversized, but you can see they're still bigger than the size that I got. So I basically went and got those specifically because I bought the mini decks and thought, actually, I really like these cards, really like the pictures, really like the feel. I can justify spending 30 odd quid on two Oracle decks. However, I then bought the Lightseers Tarot, and in all the pictures that I've seen, I thought, oh, they look amazing. They're going to be fantastic. That's going to be really, really good. I'm going to connect with them so much. And when they turned up, I was just like, no, absolutely no. These are not for me. These just, there's nothing about them that, like instantly, as soon as I looked at that, I was like, oh, that's not, no. And it's like, whether it's they're just not, I'm just not in this place for them right now. And don't get me wrong, the artwork is stunning. The artwork is really, really, really nice. But it's just like that's the Knight of Cups. And I'm just like, no, they're not speaking to me. And so because of that, I could have spent $24.99 or $22.99 on the actual deck of these. And you know what? I'm not going to do that now. And so for me, it's like, I didn't know when I first bought the mini decks, I didn't know that they were fake until they turned up. And then I was like, yeah, that's not a real deck size. They're tiny. They're like normal playing card size. And so for me, it was kind of like, oh, shit. And then when I started using those cards, I was like, actually, these I really like. These particular cards I really like. I'm going to invest in the actual ones, because the thing is, with shops being closed, like I used to work in a alternative hippie witchcrafty shop, and we had, when you sell tarot decks, you get like it's like a binder where you can get like all of the cards kind of pictured, and you get to look at them. I mean, like small pictures, but you get to look at them and go, oh, I don't know whether I'm not sure about that one. It's a bit dark, or that's a bit weird, or that's a bit like, you know, whatever. That's a bit like, oh, lots of geometric shapes and there's no pictures. I can't get that. And so you get to flick through and decide the ones that work for you. And with tarot, it's about, for me personally, it's always about having that connection and having that kind of, Tanner, that's actually a hack to get to know a tarot deck without splashing the cash really right away. It is. You've got to go get some house painting to do. Thanks, everyone, and I'll see you this Sunday, Lisa. Oh, thank you, Tanner. You will do. See you on Sunday, my darling. See you on Sunday over on the other channel. But yeah, I mean, you know, these cards I think are really nice, and it might just be that I've got to kind of work with them a bit more. I do keep looking at them because I do like the artwork. It's so different to what I'm used to. I think maybe that's the issue. But yeah, okay, Tanner, we will see you very soon, my darling. See you on Sunday. I'm not going to be on much longer. At the moment, Belinda, this all fascinates you. You see, I think you've got a bit of witchy energy. I'm telling you, I think that you've got quite an intuitive streak to you, Belinda. I really do. I think that you could probably. I just get this impression that you're somebody who could be doing like runes or tarot or oracle cards or something. I really do. I think that you're somebody who's kind of got that. You've got that there. It's there, isn't it? But yeah, it's kind of one of those things where, like, I don't recommend anybody getting the copy decks. I really don't recommend it, because the issue then is that if you really kind of, if you end up using a smaller deck for a long period of time, then it's something that you are taken away from the artists. And it's like, yes, I mean, these are kind of expensive, but you know, this deck, when I bought it, was probably about the same price, 18.99, 20 quid. And I've had it over 20 years, or maybe 15 years, this particular deck, this particular physical deck. I've probably had 15 years. So 20 quid for 15 years worth of use, it's worth it. I don't think the copies, the little mini ones, would last anywhere near that long. And when you actually think about it, Eileen Connolly, and I think it's her son, is it? And I know this is owned by US Games, and so they will take their cut, and the shop takes their cut, and all of that. When it eventually comes down to it, though, somebody somewhere, the artist gets paid a small amount of money for this. It's better to do that than you're just using the copies, and especially when you use tarot. For me, it is all about the ethical nature. It is all about, when I do a reading, it's not, I'm again, it's why authenticity is such a key part of my channels and my life. It's like, it isn't about making money. It isn't about like bullshitting people and kind of, keeping people on a phone line. Because there were times where I got, in fact, I've had a message through on one of the channels at the moment. I get people quite often trying to recruit me to phone lines, and what is it now? It's at one point it was the phone lines you rang up, like the 0898 numbers that were doing tarot. Now I think it's on credit cards and on video calls where it's all booked through. If you ever read like Spirit and Destiny magazine or Soul and Spirit magazine, all of those sort of wiki wacky alternative spiritual magazines, in the back there's all the adverts, full page adverts, mini adverts, all of those for those companies, and they always they quite often contact me and message me and want me to work for them and read for them, which I'm not prepared to do, because again, for me, it's about that ethical nature. It's like learning the tarot's taken 20 odd years, but it's also something which this is kind of a gift. It's an ability. It's something which I don't understand where the connection comes in, and how even if it is just that my brain is like a Rolodex, right? And each one of the cards, the way I think of it is like this, right? Each card is on, like, if you imagine a one-armed bandit, right? But with 78 different potential slots. And each reel that goes round is one card, okay? And when I shuffle the cards and deal the deck, it's like pulling that arm of the one-armed bandit, right? But then if I'm dealing 7 cards, then you've got 7 little windows with, on a one-armed bandit, it'll be the fruit, wouldn't it? Say bananas and pears and all that stuff. But each one of those reels is one card. And then as I spin it, each of the cards' different meanings could potentially come up. So random card, let's go with, what's this one? Random card picked from the middle of the pack, and it's a bloody 4, which is the 0 card, the first card in the tarot spread. But yeah, so this card has lots of different meanings, right? So it could be that you're at a crossroads. It could be that you've been taken for a fall. It could be that you are starting a new journey. It could be that you are starting over. It could be that you are I don't know, what else has it got? It could be that you are literally looking back and you're stuck because you don't know how to move forward. It could be that you are completely reinvigorating every aspect of your life and looking at every single thing from a personal perspective. In the workplace, it's got meanings that could be that you are studying, that you are looking at, finding a job that uses all of your tools, all of your experience. It could be that you are going back into training for the first time. So there's lots of different meanings for this one card. In a romantic way, it could be that you are, looking around. You've kind of got a partner, but you're looking around at other things and what else is out there. It could be that you are, being played, because the fall could be that you are being, played for a fall. So it could be that somebody is dangling, pulling the heartstrings and knowing how to get what they want. So you're being manipulated. In a financial element, it could be that you have signed a contract that, there's hidden clauses and hidden things and all of this. So whatever it is, there are lots of different meanings that this card can represent. And depending on where you pull it, will depend on which one of those meanings come up and which way up it is. And so even if even if tarot is just that my brain seems to understand all of the different meanings for this particular card, whether it's this way up or this way up, and whether it's in a past, present, future, mind, body, spirits, 10 card spread, whatever, whether it's just that I know all the different correspondences and correlations that this card and the different meanings that this card has in all of those positions, even if it's just that my brain, like a one-armed bandit, it goes and can reel through all of those different ones until it fits. The fact that I can find the one that fits out of all of those possible definitions, and the one that then tells the story with the other cards in the spread, and then somehow makes sense to the person that I'm reading, specifically for the person that I'm reading for, that is the bit that I don't get. That is the bit about tarot. That's why, for me, it has to be treated ethically, because if it's a gift, if it's an ability, if it's a sheer experience of my training, then none of that matters. Like, you know what I mean? Anyway, I've got way off subject. See what happens. You all know what happens anyway. You all know. You all know me by now. You know how easy I get distracted and then I go off on a tangent because of my ADHD brain. But yeah, so for Kelly, if you're wanting to get back into tarot, do it. It would be my advice. Do it. Pick up, like, have a little look online. Maybe have a look on AliExpress or on eBay for cheap decks. You can get a deck for easily less than £10, including postage, whether that's from AliExpress or whether that is from the secondhand market and things. You're researching cards. You could listen to, about tarot all day. You're researching cards now. Wow. Belinda says goodbye to Tana. I think Tana's already gone, my darling. But yeah, absolutely. Like, get a deck. So you saw the battered box that I keep mine in. I used to keep mine in the purple scarf, the purple cloth that you've probably seen me use on the various readings and things. Now they sit just in a velvet bag that I picked up with the goddess symbol on it, because this is like one of my symbols. So yeah, they just sit in there normally. But for anybody that is wanting to learn tarot, right, this would be my recommendation, right? So literally sit down when you get a deck and just do this. Just go, right, the world reversed. So if the world was upright, I would be saying that this is, you have the world at your fingertips. The world is your oyster. You've got lots of opportunity coming your way. There are, but also the negatives of the card. So reversed. So this way up, lots of opportunity. The world is your oyster. The world is your lobster. You've got the world at your hands. All of these things connect to me. There's lots of fruits and things around, and the image of the woman is floating in space with a wand. So it talks about, maybe Gaia energy, maybe that connection back to Earth, maybe the earthiness can come up. In the reversed element, what are the negatives of this card? Well, the negatives would be maybe talking about pollution and destruction, maybe talking about the negative elements of like a global economy, a global kind of worldwide interconnectedness. So we no longer think local, we think about, what happens in the UK is dictated by what happens in China and Russia and America and all those other things. So our lives are very much now on a much bigger scale. What would the connotation be in a romance card? So in a romance setting, that could mean that, as a couple, you've got the world at your fingertips. You've literally, you've got a world of opportunities, so all of that. What kind of energy do I get from this? I get very female energy, very maternal energy, very Gaiac energy. What are the pictures on the card? So we've got oak leaves, we've got poinsettia, we've got roses, we've got orchids. There's something else there that could possibly be forget-me-nots. I don't know, but this would talk about Have to love you and leave you all. Take care, everyone. Okay, Julie, my darling. Hopefully, we'll see you on Sunday over on the Beauty Witchy channel. Also, I don't know whether you know our friend Kirsty. I'm making it up. She's got a live stream on a Friday evening as well. So pop in for that. I'm one of her mods over there. So that would basically be what I do. So for that card, and it's what I'm going to do in the book, is basically write down all of those things, all of those kind of meanings for that card, and then you go to the next one. Okay, so this is the Six of Wands. So what does this card represent? Well, physically, it's got a brick wall, so bricks and mortar. Wands is security. What else is on this card? We've got lots of intricate designs, intricate kind of embroidery on the cloth and on the fabric. So that could mean that, I don't know whether you can hear the kid upstairs. I'm going to fucking scream. I'm telling you, living in this flat is just a nightmare. But like, so this could be a certain amount of wealth. The sixes tend to be kind of where you've got yourself into your, not necessarily your middle age, but you're into like your late 30s, your 40s. So it's talking about having achieved a certain amount in life, and kind of consolidating that. There's a laurel wreath there, which talks about sort of power and opportunity and things. So maybe it's talking about that. You've got a red sun in the background. So maybe the red sun is a sunset or dawn. Maybe the sun is not quite setting, but it's dipped over the horizon. So again, into the later sort of the second half of, or second third of life, all of that. So what does it mean then if I hold it up the other way? What does it mean if it's reversed? What would it mean in a financial reading? What would it mean in this reading? Yeah, I think it's a great idea to take one card a day and see how I connect with it, and then compare to what the conventional meaning is. Within a few months, you'll have a good sense of them. What I do is I will look at the book, and even now I'll refer to websites and things, and I'll be like, because you can get set in your ways, right? So I will get set in my ways. There'll be some cards, and I'll be like, so again, it just pops up. Four Swords. You've seen this come. It comes up quite a lot because it's also there are cards that I very rarely see in my readings, and there's cards I see all the time, because the meaning for this card that this card gives me could be read with other cards as well. So it could be like other cards could mean the same thing, but because this one comes up for me regularly, it means that I get that information of what the card means and what the card is telling me from this rather than from the others, if that makes sense. But I recently, like, 6 months, a year ago, kind of revisited some of the meanings and looked again at some of the meanings of the cards, because again, swords I always read as trouble and strife, but now you'll see on my Sundays I read it as trouble and strife or ideas, because it's got that dual meaning. And once I kind of reconnected to the other side of the card, the sort of the non-argumentative side, it opened up that whole suit for me in a way that probably hasn't done for maybe a decade, because I got kind of, you get used to reading things a certain way and you get used to doing things a certain way. And for me, the tarot, this witchcraft spiritual journey that I've been on for all my life, it's something which I think you always need to challenge yourself every few years and just kind of, what else does this mean? What else do I know? And so for me, I'll go back to the books and it will be like, so the sixes tend to represent, I was saying it just then, the Six of Wands. So the sixes tend to represent kind of the not quite middle-aged, but sort of getting towards the middle-aged, or that sort of, just over halfway through a journey. So it represents, you've got quite a bit of experience, you've got quite a bit of this, that, and the other, you've done quite a fair bit, but you aren't finished, you're not retired, you're not kind of at the end of your journey, but equally you're not at the beginning. It kind of does that make sense? Yeah. So it talks about that, and that is the same depending on what the suit is. The sixes, so the numbers of the suits tend to maintain the same. The same when you hear me talk about page and knight energy. The page is youthful energy of a naive element. The knight is youthful energy of a gung-ho kind of energy. So the page is like maybe tweens in my head, and the knight is teenage energy. So there's a difference between, when you're 12 and 13 to when you're 17, 18. That different types of youthful energy, and what that means for me and how I interpret that. But that is the same whether it's the the suit. So that's the same energy, whether it's romance in cups, whether it's the trouble and strife and ideas, whether it's the wands or whether it's the pentacles, so the security or the money. Am I religious? That's a really interesting question, because I am pagan. I do have a very, very strong connection to goddess energy, and also to God energy. It's one of the things I'm going to do a video on, because being trans, like, paganism talks all about, or a lot of the pagan faiths, a lot of the pagan, how to put this? So Wicca is a particular type of religion. It's kind of the equivalent to born-again Christianity, I guess. Paganism, in its widest term, is an umbrella term. My faith is kind of eclectic, so I pull from different paths and use what makes sense to me personally and my connections. So I do believe in, I believe in a universal energy. I believe that, you know, there is an energy connection that connects all of us. I believe in the Akashic records, which is like an energy record of all of our lives, that the information for the tarot kind of somehow I connect to. I don't quite get it. It's like a Wi-Fi system for the ethereal internet, like the ether net, but not a cable. So yeah, hi everyone. Yaz, you're super late today and had to wait for your food shop, and then the dog needed a walkies. Hope you're all well. I think everyone's well. We've got Kelly and Belinda here. Julie's just on leaving. Tanner's been in earlier, and then there's a few other people lurking, which, you know, people are welcome to do. So yeah, we're mainly talking about spiritual shit on this channel. I know, can you believe it? I got pulled on a tangent. Who would have thought that, Yaz? Who would have thought that I got off on a tangent, and now we're talking to some, you know, we start over here and now I'm talking over here. Who would have thought that in a million years? Bringing up to speed, I put 2.5 pounds on this week. I'm not worried about it. I had a takeaway, a bit of a week off the diet. Fibro's kicking my ass. Generally feel a bit crap. Ruffus is still quite poorly this week. And yeah, that's kind of caught you up to speed. There you go. Bullet point. TLD, what was it? TLDR version. I know, right? Unlike me to get pulled off tangent. So yeah, so religion-wise, like, I do believe in universal energy. So I believe that there are some people who can, yeah, exactly. And it was a healthy takeaway. It was healthy burgers, low fat, like non-fried potato croquette things and jackfruit croquettes, and a vegan burger we had like between us, because we wanted to try it. So we had one burger between us, and then we had a chicken burger each. But after, I've got to say, afterwards, we were just pogged. It's so long since I've had anything sort of even vaguely naughty. Like, we're used to having very full plates of vegetables. And after you eat a full plate of vegetables, you're like, oh, my tummy's full. But you're not like carb overload. Whereas this was carb overload. Oh, my God. Kelly, you're very similar and have your own personal beliefs, but don't follow any religion. No, I don't. I don't follow a book. Okay, now there are books of paganism and the craft. So there's lots of Wiccan practice. I mean, I haven't ever shown this on the other channel, but this is my working book of shadows. Look at my goddess. Isn't she gorgeous? Look at my full-figured, she's a full-figured girl. And she's got a, like, I've added in the sparkles to kind of give me the whole kind of the universe in her tongue. Again, same sort of energy. So yeah, so I don't follow a book religion. I don't follow something that says you've got to do this, you've got to do that. Probably 20 years ago, hang on, maybe even more. I guess I've always been eclectic, but possibly 20 years ago, I was slightly more Wiccan, slightly more Gardnerian, which is a version of Wicca, a dictated book. And there is the Witch's Bible, which is a Stuart and dot dot dot. I can't remember her name. Farah, the Farahs, which is a very very. This is what you do. This is how you do it. You've got to do it this way. You've got to have these tools. You've got to have this. You've got to have that. And it was like whatever. And I used to kind of follow that a little bit, but it never really hit home for me. I've done bits where I've worked with groups and covens and things where the particular group or the particular coven has a particular working style or a particular book religion that they follow, where they have particular deities that they pray to, and stuff. But that's never been my connection. I believe that the universe, the universal energy of everything, is beyond our understanding. Okay, and I believe that it is so beyond our capacity to understand it. It would be like going back and trying to explain quantum mechanics to I don't know, to what, somebody in the Victorian era. So they've got a basic understanding of science and things, and they're starting to understand things, but then you jump to quantum mechanics and they're just like, wow. It would seem like magic, and it would, or you like Wi-Fi and the internet, and try and explain that to somebody from the Edwardian times, or you know what I mean? It would just be like so beyond their realm of understanding. It just would seem like magic, and I think that's very much what the universal energy is, if that makes sense. And I think it's just beyond our level of understanding. However, I think we glimpse it, and I think we can connect to it in various ways, and we filter it through a level of archetypes. So Carl Jung talks about the archetypes, and he talks about the universal collective unconsciousness, which is in every culture dating back to prehistoric times, there has been archetypal stories. Whether it's the Greek tragedies, whether it's Roman myths, there's archetypal imagery that comes through because it connects and it makes sense. Now, to my mind, that is our brains individually, like continents apart, trying to make sense of basic fundamental facts of the universe. And we do that in such a way that if I've talked about it before, if I say Father Christmas, you've got an image in your head of what that is. And it's that same thing. And so for me personally, like the connection with the gods and goddess, it's variants of the same root energy. So it's a bit like saying, like the air. Well, actually, in the air is all types of different gases. There is oxygen, there is methane, there is the stuff we breathe out, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide. There are particles of this, that, and the other. But we don't think about that. We think about air. And we call it oxygen. Oh, it's the oxygen in the room. It's not oxygen. It's like it's made of so many different gases that we just can't see, so therefore we can't understand. But we filter it through our knowledge of oxygen. We need oxygen to breathe. Therefore, oxygen is what the air is made of. Therefore, and it's in a similar way that when the universe is kind of like too much for our brain, we try and tap into elements of it. And so for me, paganism and my belief structure is very much around, there is a male energy, there is a female energy, but those are the same energy, if that makes sense, just variants on an energy. So there is a god and a goddess, however, they are intertwined. They are always constantly connected. And what form that takes will depend on what element of it I'm calling on, if that makes sense. So like the idea of all the Greek gods, ultimately they're all the same god and the same goddess, and they are just two sides of the same coin, that you are just looking at different kind of recipes, I guess, different elements of those god forms. So for me, it's a bit like, when you're talking about, it's like saying food. I'm going to eat some food today. Okay. Food is like universal energy. to food. Well, what food are you going to eat? Oh, well, I think we're going to have some Chinese food. Right, okay. So now we are in a category of food. So now we're in a pantheon of gods. Okay, so what food do you want to eat? Oh, well, actually, I think I want something warming and spicy. Okay, that narrows it down even further. And so kind of, for me, it's kind of like the God form that I reference. Like in my book, this is my working book of shadows. So I don't have a grimoire yet, and this is probably my 5th working book of shadows. And I call it my working book of shadows because in these days, you've got to have a book of shadows because I watched Charmed and they've got the witch's book and it's a Charmed book and it's got the... No, it's not what it is. This is my book of my understanding of where I am now. And it constantly changes. It literally lives next to me because I'm currently writing in it. And it is just full of notes and things, and that it's not pretty. It's not kind of, there aren't massive pictures on every page. In fact, there's very few pictures because it isn't designed to be something that is looked at once in a blue moon and read from. And, it's not designed to be like a, what's it called? Like a museum piece. It's not designed to be that. It isn't Buffy. It isn't Charmed. It isn't The Craft. It isn't some mystical ancient tome that's handed down where it isn't that. That I will be writing at some point. I've been saying this for years. I'm going to write my grimoire. So this changes. So as I understand different things, as I learn different things, this book is already starting to fill up. This one's only been really written in the last year. I have lots of other reference books, like that's a bit like Buffy. So I've got reference books. If I want to go and look at like an encyclopedia of spell work, which will tell me things from Santeria, Hoodoo, Voodoo, it will tell me things from the various Wiccan past, Norse mythology, it will tell me things from all of those. And it's one book of stuff. And so I can go and look at that, and it's like an encyclopedia. I can go, oh, I need a healing working. So I'll go and find that, and I'll go, right, healing. Go through 15 pages. No, go through another 15 pages. No, go through another. And it's like literally flicking through an encyclopedia. When I find something that I want to use, I will then jot it down onto some scrap paper or some paper. I will then do that working, and then if it works, if I have a connection to it, if it does make a change in some way, then it goes into my working boss, and then eventually this gets updated, and this then this is just my at the back. This is my index. And it's at the back. And so, like on page, for instance, on page, what was I looking at? Okay, so on page 44, we've got runes, right? So, not all the pages are numbered, but we'll go to page 44, and I will show you the runes that I wrote down in here a couple of years ago. Okay, so you can see the writing isn't great, the pen isn't right. These aren't runes. These are Cunningham's runes. And I've had to add in the word Cunningham because these are particular to an author called Scott Cunningham, who's written a lot of books about Wiccan and witchcraft, and about Wicca rather, and witchcraft and various other things. And these are some that I found in one of his books that I was like, okay, these are useful for divination or for like working alongside the tarot with. So these are useful runes for that. But these aren't the runes. This isn't the Futark, because then we've got one of the Norse mythology elder footarchs of the written runes. So, like what I had originally written down in here as runes were actually something different. And now, if I'm looking to work with the runes, I would be looking at it from a very different perspective to what I wrote down in here as Cunningham's runes. So it changes, and the same thing with like writing the tarot book. It's the same thing with this. Like once I start writing this, it will probably change. Before I finish writing it, it will change, because for me, I am always fluidic. I am always in motion. I'm a Gemini, so I'm always kind of forever changing and forever adapting. And so, yeah, it's a really important part of my life, my craft. It really is. Hi, Robin. You've got a Kirsty with you. Wow. Hello to you too. I was coming off at 12. I wasn't going to film. I wasn't going to do an hour. And then we've got talking about witchcraft and shit on this channel. Can you believe it? Belinda started asking me some interesting questions. And then Kelly was talking about like wanting to go back to tarot. And then everyone's now talking about like mythology and mysterious stuff. And we're like, ooh. And stuff and ting and shit and ting and ting. Oh, look at that. Everyone's saying hi, Robin and Kirsty. Oh. So, yeah. So it's kind of... It's a really interesting one. Well, to be fair, this book is just my notebook. This is like my magical notebook. And I've had to replace it. Originally I got this on eBay, and it's perfectly imperfect, right? Because when it turned up, as you can see, like the binding on it is crap. Like genuinely, it's completely out of place, right? And it wasn't a cheapy one. It was like a 20 quid, whatever it is, for a handmade. I mean, it's not, when you think about it, 20 quid for a handmade leather book with handmade paper in India is not that much money, but it's quite a bit of money for just a book. But yeah, runes are really interesting, Kelly. I use runes. I use the Cunningham runes or something similar to that. Like I was about to show you some stuff, and I can't show you everything in here, can I? Because it's a lot of it's like not for use on the internet. I have bind runes that I use. So I use it's really weird, right? Oh, I'll do a whole video on this because it kind of goes into a lot of the stuff. I kind of like when books are a bit haggard as it gives them character. Yeah, absolutely. It really does. But this like the way it's been bound is not perfect. And so for me, like this is never going to be a beautiful, charmed book. This is never going to be one of those. I can't draw. So, the idea, sometimes when, and I love watching them on YouTube where you go through, like, I recommend everybody go and have a look at Book of Shadows flip throughs, where somebody has got their book and they're like, and as you can see on this page, and they turn the page and there's this amazing watercolor picture of like a lavender stem, and you can see the intricate veins in the stem, and it's kind of, you can almost smell the lavender coming off it, and it's a beautiful, and yeah, it's not me. That's not me. That isn't what I'm capable of doing. I also don't have the patience to sit and draw and paint on every single page like that. It's like, this is a practical, I've said it before, I'm pragmatic, I am practical. For me, it's function over style. So I love Becky's style and organizing thing. I love that. You're going to need to rewatch the last bit. The connection keeps breaking up. Oh no, my connection is looking really strong at this end. My Ethernet cable is all connected in and everything, so it might be your end, Kel. But I love Beauty with Becky Kiss. I love her organizing, right? I love how everything has got its place. Everything is very thought out, very put together. Everything is very much themed, and it's all it's very much a oneness. I love that. I am completely incapable of that. completely. It's not the way my brain works. My brain is very much function over style. So, like, this is a working book. It's is it gorgeous? No. Does it have the information I need? Yes. Like, oh, there's a new tarot spread I'm working on called the Fork in the Road spread. Has it got massive amounts of information? No. But look, it's got what I need in it. It tells me the layout for the 5 cards, and it tells me what they mean. It's that simple. It's got a little bit about the Sabbats, about the sort of the various holiday days and things. It's got, it's got all sorts of bits and pieces in here that mean something to me. And it's very much my notebook. Is it hugely detailed? No. Does it have stuff in here that is like probably out of date and stuff that I don't use now? Yes. So it's got things like the lesser banishing of the pentagram rituals, which are very much a specific ceremonial magical thing that are very very distinct, very like detailed. They're very this, but yeah, no, it does. Me and Rufus are the same, Belinda. Rufus is quite organised. I'm very not organised. He's now not as organised as he used to be, and because I get my way. Because you know what they say: "Happy wife, happy life." That's what he always quotes. Yaz, you're very organised in some aspects, and then very chaotic in others. I don't think it's that I'm chaotic, but I can put something down and then not look at it, not even see it, physically not see it for 9 months, and then go back to it and know where it is and know that it was there. But then equally, I can put something down and it instantly disappears, and I lose things all the time. But there are some things I'm organized about, and it's kind of, for me, it's organized chaos. So it's like with all of the makeup drawers and things, like everything's in their right drawers. It's not all hugely organized. They're all like in the tubs, in the drawers. There, it's done. They're not. However, my bookcase is alphabetized, and my bookcase is alphabetized by author, and the top shelf is all my Terry Pratchett's, and then because they're all Terry Pratchett's, they're all alphabetized in. No, they're not alphabetized. My Terry Pratchett's are done in the order that the books were released, whereas all of the other books are alphabetized. And if I've got a whole load by an author, it depends if they're in a series or not. If they're in a series, they go in the order they were released. And the same with my DVDs. I've got, like, behind the vivariums we've got here with the reptiles in, I've got my DVD shelves, and we can't get to them anymore. We don't use DVDs, so it's all like they're just sat there. But they're all alphabetized. And then they were alphabetized in genre. So some things I'm really organised with, and some things I'm really not. Anyway, Kirsty and Robin, how are you both? How's everything going? Like, hi. Hopefully you're still around. I don't know. But yeah, yes, that's very organised. All your books are just in piles. Oh no, you see, I can't do that. I can't do that because books to me, I mean, she says I can't do that. Literally, this is hiding all sorts of clutter under here. Not very well, it should be said. But then I've got other books because I'm currently doing some research and stuff. I've got books just there next to the laptop. You know, I've got my bosses there on that side. That should really live over there, but it won't fit. So yeah, so there's like, you know, it is what it is. But I am, all of this, Belinda, to say I am kind of religious, but not. The question you asked 5 hours ago, no, but kinda. You're both okay doing her nails, so you can't type too often. Well, I did my nails in the trans flag colours for the video yesterday, and then literally just as I was going on, I had to go and grab something from the shed, and managed to do that. to that one. I know, right? Oh, thank you. You loved the video yesterday. Thank you, Yaz. Couldn't have been a simple. Could have been a simple yes or no. Well, no, it can't do. Yeah, Belinda, it's because this is the thing about. Sorry, my back is my back's actually not bad today, but I'm just finding it uncomfortable. I keep changing position. It's not that simple because, like, yes, but no is my answer. But then it's like I always, and it might be the ADD, it might be like my autistic spectrumness, my neurodivergence, my whatever, my individual way my brain functions. But if somebody asks me a question, I kind of always assume you want to know an actual answer rather than just being palmed off with, I'm fine. Does that make sense? So when especially when we're talking about things like this, it's like, I am genuinely interested in all of your spiritualities, your practices. I'm dying to see what Kirsty's got on her altar, and I want to know why she's got an altar, like what she practices. I really do, Kirsty. But the same with you, Kelly. Like, I want to know, like, what the tarot meant for you. Was it just say, oh, I'm playing with some cards with some friends? Did you have a deeper meaning to it? Like, was there a deep spiritual connection? What made you then give up on it for a while? Because I did as well. I kind of like came away from the path for a while. All of that. I really want to know about people. Kelly, you're unorganizedly organized. Yeah, me too. Kind of. Yeah, I guess that's kind of a way I would put it. But like, I want to know everything about everybody, and because I'm nosy, and because the sort of empathic side of me kind of, I feel connections to people, and this is why, like, there's been quite a big shift. I don't know whether people have realised there's been quite a big shift over the last, maybe since Christmas, probably since Christmas, about me not caring about no. Not caring isn't the right term, but about not focusing on subscriber numbers and things on my channels, because I am connecting with the people I need to be connecting with, and I'm connecting in a way which is, for me, deeper and more meaningful than just having a channel that's got 5,000 subs and people are randomly watching. It's like, I love the fact that without knowing, like, Yaz, you're very spiritual, you're very kind of pagan leaning, kind of alternative leaning. Kelly, I can see the sort of that witchy element in you. Belinda, you've definitely got a curiosity there in terms of stuff, and I would say you've had stuff happen. You've had unexplained things go on. Obviously, Kirsty, my oppo, but Robin as well. Like, you've had things, and you've had experiences that are kind of a little bit on the alternative planes of existence. It's like there is a reason that we are being brought together. I don't know what the reason is, but there is a reason why we are finding each other in this context, in this forum. There are reasons why we are coming together as a collective. And that is far more important to me than, having a video where I talk about a load of beauty products in a subscription box that gets 5,000 views. Great. There's what I was looking at. I was looking at one of the, let me just see if I can pull it up, actually. Are you going to turn on? No, you're not going to turn on. I wonder if I can do it on this one. I was looking at one of my, I bet you do astrology and things, don't you? And you're like, not necessarily do, but you're drawn to that side. There is, how do I get onto, hang on, I don't know whether I can do this. Can I look at my, oh yes I can. So one of the videos on this channel has had 54,000 views. several of them on this channel had over 1,000 views. One's had like 7,500. But when we're talking 54,000 views on a video on this channel, like, that's a lot. That's a shit ton. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot. And if we wanted to, we could lean into all of that and lean into the kind of, you know, this is lots of soup recipes and things like that, which we're going to be doing a bit more of. But, you know, it's like, if numbers really mattered to me, then this health channel would be the focus, and I would be doing lots of videos for the algorithm. But I don't care about that. I don't. Anyway, stuff. It's getting near to 2 o'clock. I said I was only going to do an hour. Oh, that coffee is very nice. Oh, I was going to say about the coffee, wasn't I? She says, reaching for her second cup of coffee. I have changed my order from Packed. So if you don't know, I get a monthly subscription to Packed Coffee. Oh, that's sweet. Jesus, I put too much syrup in. I've changed my order from Packed Coffee. So I used to just get their standard one, and now I get one from the Ramira Women's, what's it called? The Ramira Women's Coffee Farm thing in Rwanda, which is so cool. And it's such a nicer coffee. It's like a single blend. Kelly, the universe is bringing together communities of like-minded people in order to help each other in one way or another. It's happening everywhere. It is. And unfortunately, the like-minded people, that also includes the arse hats. So the neo-Nazis and the right-wingers and the Trump brigade and all of that, all of those are bonding together as well. And there does feel like there's an epic battle looming, like some bloody Lord of the Rings type bullshit, where like it does feel that, you know, communities are coming together. But then again, we are in the age of Aquarius. The age of Aquarius. Your brother didn't get you Packed in the end. We've started using a brand called Rave, which is nice too. Oh, okay, that's cool. There's a £5 off deal on Packed at the moment. PACT, by the way. But also, I've been looking at another one as well called Skull Crusher Coffee, which is another one supposed to be like super strong. I haven't heard of Rave. Oh, my back is starting to hurt. I haven't heard of Rave. Maybe I'll look it out, because I'm always on the up. I'm always in the market for more coffee. It's like certain things I collect. Coffees. Well, I don't really collect, but I enjoy a lot of different types of coffees. Makeup and beauty products. I mean, surprise. Costa cups. I have lots of Costa cups. I think we've got about 8 of the Costa cups, and tarot decks and oracle decks, although I'm not allowing myself to buy those just because I don't need them, and they just sit there, and, you know, I connect with some, and there's only so many you can use for a reading at any one time, you know what I mean? So I don't need a full collection of those. Anyways. You looked at that Skull Coffee too. Maybe you can try it, as it sounds pretty damn strong. It really does, doesn't it? I don't know whether that is just, to be honest, what puts me off with Skull Coffee is that it's all about, like, it's very 90s in terms of, for anybody who's older than, 20, if you lived through the 90s, either as a teenager or as a sort of growing child, which probably would be me, Belinda, and Kirsty, we remember the X Games, the extreme 90s extreme. Like, it's why like Pepsi Max, Pepsi Zero with an X. It was like everything was extreme. Gillette X. Everything was like everything was just like super extreme turbo. exactly, Lisa. Oh wow. But yeah, it's like with with the coffee, that Skull coffee seems to me very much like it's like, this is coffee that's so caffeinated, it's extreme max super coffee. Like, drink this coffee, you'll be able to go snowboarding in your underwear. You will get a BMX bike and do turnpikes and skateboarding max. Bro. It's like that. I'm not into that. But equally, what I do like about it, like that's kind of like the feel it gets in terms of like when it's talking about his strength. But then it seems like it goes, this is so strong, it's the devil's brew. Here is like, you know, like I don't know whether you've seen the controversy over the Nike Satan shoes that Little Nas X brought out. So Little Nas X and a company called Mischief, who basically buy Nike shoes and then they tart them up, so they modify them. So they buy the Nike trainers, put different things in, paint them, redo that, and then they sell them on at a profit, which is great, you know, whatever. But he's done loads with this little Nas X, the rapper from the States, where they've put paint in the air pump thing. They put paint in, and then they put a drop of human blood, allegedly. And there's a whole thing. Nike are suing them. There's a whole thing. Yeah, it's that music video in shoes, of course, so much uproar. I know, right? But all of that is like the marketing for Skull Coffee. It's like satanic coffee. Like, this coffee will blow your head and turn you into a skull. It's all very strange. But I do love it. But yeah, the Little Nas X stuff, it was ridiculous. It is ridiculous. The fact that Nike are suing them. Emily D. Baker, the badass lawyer, has an amazing episode on it that she put up, I think, yesterday. But the fact that Nike are suing them is just the most ridiculous thing in the whole wide world. Like, I could go and buy a pair of Nike, draw on them, and then flog them. I mean, I wouldn't get any money because I can't draw, but you know what I mean? The thing that got me, though, on those shoes is that they use the pentagram, and the pentagram is not a satanic symbol. And again, it's a bit like when I did the review of the Makeup Revolution, the iHeart Revolution palettes, where it's like someone's done their research. Like the pentagram is not a satanic symbol. It's not even used in like the Church of Satanism. It's not, well, I guess it is, it's inverted, but it isn't from that. And so the fact that they use the pentagram, it's just like, oh, please, could you not have used something else? You could use the image of Baphomet, the horned god. That would have made more sense than using a bloody pentagram. But yeah, I just thought it was ridiculous. And the fact that Nike are suing them because people might get confused that a $666 pair of shoes was actually from Nike, a pair of shoes that has got Mischief and Little Nas X on the back, and no Nike branding apart from the swoosh. People can get confused that a pair of shoes that you don't buy on the Nike website is possibly, yeah. I think they put it on there to wind up people more, to be honest. Oh yeah, I mean, it's a massive marketing thing. I didn't even know who Lil. Well, no, I kind of knew who Lil Nas X was, but like I wasn't aware of like the Mischief brand. I wasn't aware of, you know, any of this sort of the song. Probably would have passed me by if it wasn't for all of this controversy. So it's an amazing way. 666 pairs of shoes. Oh no, they weren't. I think they were like £1,100 because there was 666 was the price, was the number of shoes. But like for less than 1,000 pairs of shoes, they've got this global, worldwide attention that people all over the fucking globe are talking about. Like the Christians are all up in arms because, you know, I mean, that's the easiest thing in the world, to bait the Christians in the States into getting irate and then like demanding that your brand is you know, cancelled. That's the best marketing in the, well, not the best, but that's like a surefire way of marketing. It's not your kind of music, but it's got you watching the video, etc. So it's definitely working. I know, the same thing. Like I watched the video on YouTube and I was like, okay, that's an interesting video. I don't really like, it's not my style of music. Like, don't really get it. I'm old. It's not my thing. However, I've watched the video and I thought, oh, that's cool. Very interesting, very stylish, loving a lot of the imagery. But also, as Emily D. Baker pointed, like this could have been a massive advertising thing for Nike to come out with a red version of these trainers. Just make them red. Take the satanic stuff off. Just make these shoes red instead of like being the white swoop. Make the swoop red. Make the colour pump thing red. Come out with some red laces. All of this shit, and people will buy it. Black and red are like standard colours. I don't understand. I thought it was so funny. But yeah, drama. Anywho. I'm probably going to get off soon. I've got a tarot reading to do on the fiverr.com. Which means I need to go and put a face on, which I really can't be bothered doing, but I need to do that. As above, so below. I think Kelly's watching. Kelly, I think you must be a few minutes behind on the live. Red and black to you always reminds you of your My Chemical Romance. Exactly. Which again, 2000s, it's that whole kind of, you see black and, oh my God, my back. Black and red to me, because I'm old as fuck, black and red to me is the colour of my teenage bedroom. When I turned 13, I was allowed to choose wallpaper. And so being very 80s, I had grey, white, black and red in a geometric design. So it kind of had, like, they weren't triangles, but it had like V shapes and things. We're in black and red on a white background with like little grey dots of shading. So it looked almost like comic art, like that kind of comic style, but with very like geometric everything. So that went up on one wall. The rest of the walls were painted white, and then I had like shelving put up and everything for my teenage years, and like red picture frames, and like, yeah, that was very much my my teenage sort of feel to things, was very much red and white, and now it's all the whole yeah, your brother had that too. It was very much Slimming World colours. So the colours of this channel, basically, I think it's just of the time. And then as I got a bit older, like the white and the grey disappeared and the black and the red kind of got in. And then it was a little bit more sort of like, wow, witchy. And then, of course, into the late 90s and 2000s with My Chemical Romance and Marilyn Manson, Sisters of Mercy, all of that world that I entered. Are you two wanting to go to the toilet? Is that what you want? Hang on then. Right. I'm going to wrap up now, everybody, because the doggos need to go out. In a second. Wait a second. Mummy's going to say goodbye to everybody on the line. On the line. What is that? It's a film where I think, is it Robert De Niro? Is it called The Intern? It's called The Intern. And it's not Robert De Niro, but where he talks about on the line. Goddamn internet, you're back up to date. You had Piero the Clown. Oh, God. Hang on a second. Right, hang on. Hold on. Let me put that there. Right. Do you two need to go out? Hold on. Come on, then, because otherwise you're going to wee on the floor. Don't wee on the floor. Oh, God. The toilet. Oh, I was hoping I'd be able to sign off everybody before they needed to go out, but they were absolutely busting. So yeah, I am going to call it quits here today, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I've really enjoyed the chat today. Actually, I wasn't feeling it, but yeah, thank you so much. I was thinking I'll be on for an hour. And even that, I was like, oh, I probably won't survive that. But I love this. I love the coffee and catch up, because it just feels like I'm hanging out with my friends. It just feels like we're in a cafe, or we all pop round to each other's house and we're just having a coffee and a cake, coffee and a bun, if you're northern, coffee and a bun, and we're just kind of chilling out. So yeah, I think it's really cool. Anyway, I will see you on tomorrow evening. 8 p.m. UK time over on Kirsty's live stream, Making It Up, yeah, I'll be in the live chat over there. Thank you so much to everybody for joining me. There'll be a video coming up this week, on this channel probably tomorrow, which will be the fibro one, because again, nightmare. There won't be another channel. There might be. There might be a video on the other channel over the weekend. I'm not entirely certain. Depends whether I can get this accessorized mystery box filmed or not. Hopefully. Yeah, I'm not going to refilm the latest in beauty one. I'm just not going to bother because I can't be asked. I filmed it twice. I'm not doing it again. So yeah. Hopefully, I will see you all over the weekend on Kirsty's Live tomorrow, if not on Sunday, over on the Beauty Witchy channel. It's 7 p.m. UK time over on Beyond Authentic. Getting there before 8 o'clock for the tarot readings to start at 8. And yeah, hopefully I will see you all very, very soon. Whatever you're doing for the rest of the day, whatever you're doing for the weekend, have a lovely, lovely time. And I hope you are all super healthy, super well. And I will see you very, very soon. And as we always say on this channel, happy slimming unless you're having a takeaway, in which case enjoy it.